If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
To award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Farrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
Well, hi, Mike. How are you?
Hey, Allison. How are you? Thank you for taking some time for us this morning.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And first off, congratulations on everything, the nominations, the release, and just all the success and hard work paying off. I think it gets ignored when somebody invests so much of their time and their spirit and energy that there is another side to us. We concentrate on the product, but I think just for a moment, I want to say congratulations on just everything coming together. And how does that feel when this baby kind of grows up and goes into the world and the world kind of embraces it?
Oh, yeah, really wonderful to have come to this point after, a year of showing the film around the country. First, it was a year of production, and then it was a year of editing, and then you sort of birth it, put it into the world. And then, it screens around the country, and then it went on television, DVD, and now we get this wonderful nomination. So it's a great culmination. So all that work, yes.
And I think a lot of people, that gets ignored because we only see the end product. We always hear about the summer blockbusters or the straight to Netflix or, just the wide variety of all these movies, but we don't see the sacrifices, and maybe not even emotionally, but specifically in the cutting room floor. Like somebody like yourself who's so invested in this and did so much hard work, and we obviously see how great of a product it was, with all these nominations and well-deserved critic praise. But when you're on there and you spend so long producing this and finding this great material, and then you're on the cutting room floor and you have to cut something out or you have to edit something, you're like, what, this isn't making the flow go easy. Can you explain to the audience who doesn't get to see that warship, that generalship that you have, that strategic that you are in the cutting room floor?
Yeah, it's probably a good thing they don't see what goes into it, right? They get to see the beautiful finished product. It's, the edit process is laborious and it's intense and it's creative and it's also wonderful. It's where it all sort of comes together. It's almost like a marriage. You're putting these two scenes together, and the only way you know when something works is sort of visualizing it and figuring out, what doesn't work, and that's sort of what helps you find the story and figure out what does work. So it's this whole process. We use index cards and a bulletin board, and we sort of try to visualize the story on these cards because it's so hard to have it all in your head. And, we had 100 hours of footage, and, we're whittling that down to 82 minutes. And, it's amazing. It really, really can't make a documentary in less than 9 months of editing. It's so much material, and every minute counts. As a viewer, you're sitting in the audience, and you can get so easily lost in 1 minute. So you're really capturing people with every second. So it's like a race, it's like a rhythm. It's poetry. It's finding that rhythm and making sure you don't hit the same emotional beat twice. So if you have two great scenes that are kind of hitting the same note, you almost want to eliminate one and just kind of keep this film moving.
So when you get the nominations and you hear that great news, not only for the film, but personally, like I'm able to do it. You're going to be too humbled and you're too good of a person, but I'm gonna brag for you. The fact that not only was the movie great, but the fact is that you were recognized for it. So when people don't see that struggle and people don't see your personal life because you're spending so many hours doing this, and to get recognized, that has to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it is great. We're in some pretty steep company. We're Eric Clapton and Quincy Jones and Whitney Houston and Elvis. So, it's not going to be easy, but it's great to be sort of validated in the eyes of the music world and the film world. It feels wonderful.
Now let's get to how this happens, though, because this is a great story, and it has all. It's a man of my heart. He's wearing the Cubs jersey, and it's just we can't wait to screen it over here. But the one thing that I think I took the most from it, and most of these films that are created, is the investment that goes put into this, because it's so much of you is personal. It's raw. And here's the thing, Allison, that I find fascinating is we live today in the day and age of quote-unquote reality television and reality shows and reality documentaries, right? And then somebody like you comes along and other great talent, and they show us something that we haven't seen before, a different way of exploring this content, this way of media. And for you, how tough was it to be invested and make sure that you kept this story on target so that it got to the people? Because if it wasn't for you, a fascinating story like this may never have been told the way it is now.
Yeah, Itzhak already sort of has his wonderful following of classical music fans and all the people that know him and love him. But I think showing it in a documentary format, obviously you're reaching a much wider audience, or let's say a different audience. Not everybody is music fans. The whole Jewish community was very much loving this film, and it goes into his disability, and so that community was super supportive. And I think it's also very much a love story. So you get people that have stayed together for many years are appreciating Toby's role, his wife, and just their amazing companionship. It hits another layer and another audience when you show it in this format.
And how important was it for you to make sure it was right? Because I think a lot of people are okay with just making something look stylistic or making a narrative fit. But how important was it for you, not only as a content creator, but just, as Allison, a person who got recognized for all this at the end of it, all the hard work, to make sure that this was done right, to make sure that the facts were there, that the story was being told the way that it was unfolding in front of you and the crew and throughout this entire process?
Yeah, for me, it is so much about creating that poetry and doing it in a cinema verite style way that's authentic, so people could really kind of get inside who this person is and show you his soulful, side, which is pretty much all of his sides. And really, for me, the inspiration is kind of drawn from the intimacy. So I don't need to just glorify his achievements. And you can go to YouTube and watch a concert of him. But for me, it was really about understanding who Itzhak Perlman is and kind of translating that to the screen, giving the viewer that insight that they could sort of judge for themselves. So you're seeing him in a conversation with Alan Alda, or in the kitchen, cooking with his wife on Shabbat dinner, or driving and making his sort of funny grandpa jokes, and really kind of getting to know him in this more personal way than just seeing him in a concert. So that was one of my goals that hopefully we achieved.
Is it hard to kind of get personal in this? Because, these are people. We are humans. Like, we like to pretend we're not, but at the end of the day, like, people get emotionally invested. People root for people. People want certain outcomes to come because people are just, genuinely like others. But in your case, did you catch yourself just kind of, was it an easy process because it was, a good man, and it was a fun tale to be told, and it was just very high energy and very fascinating? Did you catch yourself kind of getting sucked into the roller coaster that was, this whole process?
Yeah, we were lucky. We got to listen to his beautiful music all the time, and the soundtrack to our film is really beautiful. So it is very easy to get sucked in. And as I said, he's so funny, and he's making jokes all the time, and so humorous and personable. And we would go to Napa. We did this one day of shooting in these wineries, and we were drinking wine all day. Like, it was actually a very lovely shoot. I've been in film now for 20 years, and this was probably my most joyous. He's just so fun to be around, and his wife and Toby, we had a great time. So I feel very lucky.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing,
How
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support. When you're by yourself, when it's just Alice and you're hanging out, you're working on the next project, what do you think is that lesson that's going to stick out moving forward for the rest of your career and the rest of your life?
I think whenever you sort of, anything in life that sort of takes you a year, that's sort of a journey, you come out like on the other side, having gained all this wisdom. So there's sort of no way to avoid that growth period. And in this case, this story was so personal, and it's such an uplifting story. And Perlman had faced so many challenges and overcame so much adversity. And so it's just this resilient story, and it kind of gives you that optimism in life when you witnessed stories like this. And I think I sort of took that in, and that became sort of personal for me. I think we all grow from these sort of film journeys and any creative process and any artistic journeys that we go on.
When you're working on this type of projects, or when you're writing something and you're really in that groove and you're feeling it and you hit that momentum, do you ever catch yourself creating the next project while you're doing the current one? Or are you so invested and it is so part of your life right now that it's hard to kind of see the next thing coming? Or is that a detriment? Like, how does that creative process work? For me, I always have a million things going on in my mind. Oh, I want to do this show. I want to do this segment, so on and so forth. But this undertaking of documenting the story and making it, the soundtrack is beautiful and the way it looks is beautiful and everybody in it and it's being rewarded for it. But do you think about the next thing while you're in this process, or is it just so much at one time?
I think it's hard. It's sort of hard for both. It's hard to sort of get too much outside because you are so inside of it. And at the same time, it's so easy to sort of get inspired from it and start thinking about your next thing. And for me, one of the projects I want to do next is a narrative fiction film. And I've been sort of working on it prior to working on the Itzhak project, so I'm now back in that space a little bit. But it also inspires other doc projects. And I think we're, in this day and age, we're kind of always multitasking a little bit, but this does require very intense focus, and you do get distracted from some of the other things because you're just so in the moment of creating this film. And as I said, with doc filmmaking, it's so much about the different stages. So, you start in production, then you're in editing, and then once you're birthing it and putting it into the world, that's like a whole other feeling and skill set. And, you're doing a lot of speaking on the film, and then, you're getting reviewed and you're getting maybe criticized or complimented. Or, you kind of have to take it all. And then it's the award season, so it certainly isn't boring. Let's put it that way.
It is.
Never,
it is a roller coaster,
never a dull moment.
And you know what? We have we do a movie show here, a pop culture show, an entertainment show here, and one of the things that we're seeing right now in Hollywood, and I think it's really cool because, and I'm going to make a comparison to it in just a second, but it's these content creating strong women getting their place and being able to put these things out into the universe. And my mind goes right to Patty Jenkins with Wonder Woman, and one of the best movies that came out, especially in that universe and that content. But for you, this is the comparison I make. Women content creators, as directors, and getting these chances at bigger and bigger and bigger projects. are like the nerds back in the day of the 70s, and like the George Lucases and Steve Spielbergs and the Scorseses and whatnot, because they were withdrawn. They were pushed down. They were all movie fans. All you ladies were movie fans, music fans, but you were said you couldn't do it. And all these great ideas are brewing. This is how we're going to make this story. This is how this is going to be successful. And now we're seeing it absolutely crush in blockbusters, on Netflix, on television, and right now on the Grammys. And you, for being one of these women who are part of this movement, can you see, am I crazy for thinking like it was the suppression of these women who love this media, who love this content, that were just not given the opportunity, now being able to hit home runs every single time?
That's interesting. Yeah, there's definitely truth to that. I think all of us sort of had our own path. I was raised by two very loving parents that supported me and gave me a lot of confidence, and we're always there. I think that has helped me sort of realize my dreams and knowing that I could do things. And I think everyone's had different experiences. But yeah, it is a great time for women directors. There is no doubt about that. And it's great to see all the great work that's coming out of this moment. And, we're trying to reach equality here. And I think in this, at least in the entertainment industry, we're making some progress. I'm not sure anywhere else.
Yeah.
Not sure yet about politics, but we're getting there.
Allison, look, we could get gray hair thinking about one day politics, trying to actually be humane and whatnot. But I think we're seeing it right now, though. I mean, I'm a Hispanic 28-year-old millennial talking to you, who's been nominated for Grammys, has this awesome documentary coming out, has been working on great projects right now in the movie theater. We have the biggest movies are starring women. We have women directors. We have Crazy Rich Asians was one of the biggest movies in the year. I think we are making strides in it. Yeah. I just think the problem is we don't get to celebrate people like you more. And I think that's why I'm very lucky on this platform, because you were able to make this amazing project that if it wasn't for you, we like you said, he's had his following and that's great, but so many people are going to watch this now and are going to experience something that they've never been exposed to, and that's because of the love you put into this project. And obviously, Itzhak is one of those moments where we'll look back and be like, oh, this is a starting point for a lot of different avenues for people. This inspired a lot of different people. So for you moving forward, did you think it would have this big of an impact after it dropped, that it would really just hit that zeitgeist as much as it did? Probably
not. Probably when I first started this, I wasn't even thinking about anything other than like, okay, let's raise the money and where are we getting the money from, and let's apply for this grant and sort of how we got the money. And then the next step is, the creative, and that's obviously the most important thing that is on your mind constantly. And so you're not even thinking like, where are we premiering this or any of that stuff, but it sort of slowly just all comes together. And in a story like this, it's very much about chemistry. It's the timing and the connection and just all the ducks sort of lining up in a row. And then even with the Grammy win, it was just like, it just all sort of seemed right. Like it just all made sense at a certain point. Whoa. It's not every film does. And the ones that don't is when you realize like, maybe this isn't exactly meant to be right now. So yeah, this was really a perfect story.
And I think it's underselling it when people say how many things are created that don't get recognized. But Allison, I could talk to you all day, but you've given us so much of your time. I know you're super busy. Last words to the city of Chicago. We love you. We're so proud of you. Any last words for your city before everybody goes on to their holiday break and starts causing trouble? No, just be your best self. Enjoy the holidays, and thank you for everything. And enjoy the film. Yes, absolutely. And we can get it all on iTunes, Amazon. It's all over streaming. You can get it on actual hard copy as well. So we're actually going to do a screening here at the start of the new year to celebrate our awesome guest. Allison, you are amazing. Thank you. Congratulations on all the success. Thank you. I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much, and good luck to you, and thanks so much. What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
To award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.